You know what's funny? The things we don't have easy access to are always the things we crave the most. It's wired into us. Think about it. When something is rare, it becomes more valuable. That limited edition item, that exclusive club, the vacation spot that's fully booked for the next 6 months, we want it because we can't have it right now. And it's no different when it comes to relationships. The people we miss the most are the ones who aren't always in front of us, readily available, just waiting for us to reach out. Scarcity creates value. Here's what most people get wrong. When they like someone, they think being constantly available is the way to go, answering messages instantly, dropping everything at a moment's notice, rearranging their schedule to accommodate him. You think that by being ever present, you're showing how much you care, and you are, but not in a way that makes him appreciate you more. Instead, you're making yourself predictable, comfortable, and comfort, when given too soon, too easily, kills desire. It's not about playing games or pretending to be unavailable when you're actually staring at your phone waiting for his message. It's about genuinely living a life that doesn't revolve around him. A life that is rich, full, and exciting, whether or not he's a part of it. Because when you do that, when you have something that excites you beyond this one person, you naturally create space for him to miss you. He starts to wonder, where is she? What's she up to? That curiosity, that slight uncertainty, that's what fuels attraction. Now, don't confuse this with intentionally withholding affection or creating distance just for the sake of making him chase. That's manipulation, and it doesn't work in the long run. What works is becoming the kind of person who is so deeply engaged with her own life that she doesn't need to manufacture distance because the space naturally exists. You're not waiting by your phone because you're out meeting friends, pursuing your passions, growing in ways that make you a more interesting, more attractive version of yourself. Think about the last time you truly missed someone. It wasn't because they disappeared without reason. It was because they had something going on in their life that took their focus elsewhere, and suddenly you felt the void. You wanted them closer. You appreciated their presence more. That's what happens when you maintain a sense of individuality in your relationship. When you have a life outside of him, he realizes that being around you is a privilege, not a given. There's a shift that happens when you stop giving unlimited access to yourself. It changes the way he sees you. Suddenly your time is valuable. Suddenly your presence isn't something he can take for granted. And that's when he starts putting in effort. That's when he starts showing up differently, because he recognizes that you're not just there, you're choosing to be there. And when something is a choice rather than an expectation, it becomes infinitely more meaningful. You see, people respect what they have to earn. If someone knows they can have you at any time, if they know that no matter how they treat you, no matter what they do, you'll always be there, then there's no urgency to step up, no motivation to appreciate what they have. But when your time, energy, and presence are things he has to put effort into maintaining, he won't take them lightly. He'll treasure them because he knows they're not just handed out freely. And I get it. When you like someone, it's hard not to want to be around them all the time. You want to text them good morning. You want to check in throughout the day. You want to be available whenever they need you. But here's the paradox. If you make yourself too available, the value of your attention drops. It doesn't feel special anymore. It doesn't feel like something he has to work for. It feels like something that's just there. And people don't crave what they already have unlimited access to. So how do you create the kind of space that makes someone miss you without it feeling forced or manipulative? It starts with you. It starts with genuinely prioritizing your own life, your own joy, your own sense of fulfillment. It starts with understanding that you are the prize, and that the right person will recognize that without you needing to prove it by When you create a world so vibrant and exciting that you're not constantly seeking validation from him, he'll start seeking more from you. When he sees that your time is precious, he'll work to be a part of it. When he realizes that you're not just waiting around for him to call, he'll call more. When he understands that your life doesn't pause for him, he'll want to be a bigger part of it. And here's the truth. The people who truly value you will never be turned off by your independence. The right man will be drawn to it He won't feel threatened by your ability to be happy on your own. He'll be inspired by it. He'll respect you more for it. And that respect, that admiration, that's what keeps the spark alive. That's what makes him miss you when you're not there. So, if you want him to miss you like crazy, don't chase. Don't overcompensate. Don't give all of yourself too soon. Instead, be the woman who is worth missing. Because when you do that, when you live with passion, purpose, and confidence, he won't just miss you, he'll crave you. There's something magnetic about a person who knows their worth. When you carry yourself like someone of value, people naturally gravitate toward you. It's not about playing games or manipulating someone into missing you. It's about becoming the kind of person whose presence is so powerful, so intoxicating, that the absence of it creates a void. That's what makes someone miss you like crazy. Think about it. When do you miss someone the most? It's not when they're just nice to be around. It's when they bring something to your life that feels rare. It's when their energy, their presence, their confidence make an impact so deeply that being without it feels like something is missing. And that starts with how you see yourself. Because when you see yourself as a high-value person, you carry yourself in a way that others do too. Too many people make the mistake of thinking that being indispensable to someone means constantly being available, always saying yes, always putting the other person's needs ahead of their own. But what does that really do? It makes you predictable. It makes you someone they assume will always be there, no matter how they show up for you. The truth is, the people we miss the most are the ones who bring value, excitement, and inspiration into our lives, not the ones who are always just there. The secret is to live a life so full, so rich with meaning, that when someone gets a taste of it, they don't want to lose it. That's what being high value means. It's about showing up as the best version of yourself, not for someone else, but because it's who you are. And when you do that, you become unforgettable. You don't become high value by proving it to someone. You don't need to constantly remind them of what you bring to the table. You show them by the way you live your life, by the way you carry yourself, by the way you set standards for how you want to be treated. And when you operate from that place, you don't have to worry about whether someone will miss you. They will, because people don't miss what they can easily replace. They miss what feels rare. And what's rare? A person who knows their worth and doesn't settle for anything less than they deserve. A person with a life so full of purpose and passion that whether they're single or in a relationship, they're radiating energy. They're not waiting for someone else to complete them. They're already whole. And that's the kind of energy that draws people in, that keeps them thinking about you when you're not around. See, when you make someone your whole world, they don't have to work to be in yours. But when you have your own world, one that's exciting, fulfilling, full of passion and adventure, they want to be a part of it. They start to wonder what you're doing when you're not with them. They start to crave the moments they get to share in that world. They realize that your attention is something special, something they can't take for granted. And that's when missing you becomes inevitable. Confidence isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about knowing deep down that you bring something incredible to the table, whether or not someone else sees it right away. It's about not chasing validation because you already know your worth. And when you operate from that place, you naturally create an energy that draws people in. That's the kind of energy that lingers in someone's mind long after. That's the kind of presence that makes you unforgettable. And here's the best part. When you truly embrace this, when you stop trying to make someone miss you and start focusing on becoming the person they can't forget, everything changes. Because now you're not playing a game. You're living in a way that makes you magnetic, naturally. You're creating a life so rich, so meaningful, that when someone experiences even a fraction of it, they don't want to let it go. That's the secret. That's how you make someone miss you like crazy. You see, people don't miss average experiences. They don't lie awake at night thinking about something that was just okay. What they miss, what they crave, what keeps them coming back for more, are those moments that stand out, those emotional highs that they can't find anywhere else. That's the secret. It's not about playing games. It's not about withholding affection. It's about becoming a presence in his life that he feels lucky to have. Think about the last time you truly missed someone. Not just in a passing way, but in a way that consumed your thoughts, that made you replay conversations in your head, that made you check your phone hoping for a message. Why did you miss them? Chances are it wasn't because they texted you all the time or because they were constantly available. It was because when you were with them, they made you feel something unique, something powerful, something that no one else did in quite the same way. Now, here's where most people go wrong. They think that to make someone miss them, they just need to disappear. They think if I stop texting, if I don't reach out, if I create distance, then they'll start missing me. And while a little bit of space can be important, space on its own does nothing if there's nothing to miss. If the moments you shared were forgettable, if they were predictable, if they felt like every other interaction he's ever had, then the absence won't create desire, it'll just create indifference. So the real strategy isn't just about creating space, it's about making sure that when you are together, you're creating the kind of experiences that leave an imprint, that when he walks away, he's left thinking, wow, that felt different. This isn't about being performative. It's not about putting on a show or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about being intentional with your energy. It's about bringing your best, most playful, most engaged self to the table. It's about being the kind of person who is present in the moment, who listens deeply, who laughs fully, who isn't afraid to be a little spontaneous, a little unpredictable. Because here's the truth. People don't miss transactional interactions. They don't miss routine. They don't miss conversations that are surface level or predictable. What they miss is how someone makes them feel. And when you're able to create emotional highs, whether that's through humor, through deep connection, through shared adventure, he won't just remember you, he'll crave you. Let's talk about chemistry for a second. People often think chemistry is something that just happens, that it's either there or it's not. But chemistry is actually something we create. It's built through contrast. Think about an amazing movie. It's not amazing because it's just funny or just dramatic or just suspenseful. It's amazing because it takes you on a journey. It surprises you. It keeps you engaged. It makes you feel a range of emotions. And that's what creates attachment. If you want someone to miss you, they need to feel something different with you than they do with anyone else. So how do you do that? How do you create those emotional highs? For starters, you bring playfulness, you bring curiosity, you bring depth. You show that you're someone who isn't just going through the motions, but someone who actually enjoys life, who finds joy in the little things, who isn't afraid to tease, to challenge, to spark a little fun in the conversation. You don't just ask, "How was your day?" like a script you repeat with every person. You ask, "What was the best part of your day?" Or, "If today had a theme song, what would it be?" Questions that pull someone out of autopilot and make them think, make them engage, make them feel something new. And it's not just about conversation. It's about how you make someone feel when they're around you, the energy you bring, the way you make eye contact that lingers just a second longer, the way you laugh in a way that's unguarded, genuine, the way you're fully present instead of being distracted, checking you're thinking about the next thing on your to-do list. People feel that, they remember that, they crave that. And here's something crucial. Contrast is key. If every moment with you is light and playful, that's great, but there needs to be depth too. There needs to be moments of vulnerability, of realness, of intimacy that go beyond just fun. The deepest connections are built on contrast, when someone gets to see the full range of who you are, the playful side, the passionate side, the ambitious side, the thoughtful side. That's when they start to feel something real. That's when they start to think about you even when you're not there. Now, let's talk about leaving a lasting impression. Most people assume that to make someone miss them, they have to be unforgettable in a grand way, that they need to do something extravagant. But the truth is, it's the little things that stay with people. It's the way you said something in a way no one else did, the way you shared a moment of honesty that felt real, the way you made them laugh when they least expected it. Those are the things that stick. Those are the things that replay in someone's mind long after the moment has passed. And when you do that, when you create experiences that are rich, that are memorable, that make someone feel alive, then your absence isn't just noticed, it's felt. That's when someone starts to miss you, not because you disappeared, but because when you were there, you mattered. So if you want to make him miss you like crazy, don't focus on playing hard to get. Focus on being someone worth missing. One of the most overlooked aspects of attraction is mystery. The truth is, people don't crave what they fully understand. What keeps someone coming back thinking about you when you're not around is the unknown. It's the unanswered questions, the slight unpredictability, and the feeling that there's always more to discover about you. When you give everything away too soon, your schedule, your emotions, your every move, you remove that natural curiosity that drives attraction. The moment someone feels like they have you completely figured out, they stop wondering about you. And the moment they stop wondering, they stop missing you. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or manipulating someone into missing you. This is about embodying a natural state of confidence where you don't feel the need to over-explain, overshare, or be overly accessible just to get someone's attention. Think about the people who have left a lasting impression on you. Chances are they had layers to them. They weren't an open book from the start. There was always something more to learn, more to uncover. That's the energy that keeps someone invested in the long term. When you're building attraction with someone, you want them to experience you in waves, not all at once. Picture it like a movie trailer. A great trailer doesn't give away the entire plot in 2 minutes. It gives you just enough to spark curiosity, to make you want to see the full movie. But if a trailer revealed everything, every twist, every climax, every surprise, you wouldn't feel the need to watch the whole film. The same principle applies to attraction. You need to leave space for intrigue, for anticipation, for the imagination to do some of the work. Because when someone's imagination is engaged, they start creating narratives about you, filling in the blanks and investing emotionally in the idea of you. The way you communicate plays a huge role in this. Let's say you've just had an incredible weekend. Instead of dumping every detail of what you did and who you were with, you drop just enough to pique interest. If he asks how your weekend was, instead of a full rundown, you say, "It was amazing. I had one of the best nights I've had in a long time." That's it. You don't need to elaborate unless he asks. What does this do? It makes him curious. It makes him wonder, what happened? Who was she with? What made it so great? And now, rather than feeling like he has you on tap, he's intrigued, engaged, and more invested in the conversation. You've created an emotional hook, and that's powerful. Another way mystery works in your favor is in how you carry yourself. There's a difference between being accessible and being predictable. You don't need to text back immediately every single time. You don't need to always be the first to initiate plans. When you have a full life, your own passions, your own goals, your own priorities, you naturally become a little less predictable. And that's attractive, because when someone feels like they can't quite pin you down, they start working harder to figure you out. That's when they start thinking about you at random moments, wondering what you're up to, missing your presence. And that's when you truly become unforgettable. A woman who maintains a sense of mystery doesn't just keep a man interested, she commands respect. She's not bending over backward for attention. She's not desperately trying to prove her worth. Instead, she's comfortable letting things unfold naturally, knowing that her value isn't in how much she gives, but in who she is. And when a man senses that, he sees you differently. He doesn't just see someone he enjoys spending time with, he sees someone he needs to pursue. He feels that pull, that urge to get closer, to understand you, to win you over. That's the magic of mystery. So if you want to make someone miss you, don't be the person who lays everything out on the table from day one. Be the person who keeps a little something back. who allows curiosity to build, who lets the story unfold one chapter at a time. That's what keeps attraction alive. That's what makes someone keep coming back for more. If there's one truth about human nature that we can't ignore, it's this: we don't value what we don't work for. It's easy to believe that the way to make someone miss you is by giving them more of yourself, by always being there, always responding instantly, always making plans around them. But the irony is, the more you give without them having to earn it, the less they appreciate it. It's not about playing games, it's about understanding the psychology of desire. When something is handed to us on a silver platter, we take it for granted. Think about the times in your life when you've worked for something, whether it was getting in shape, landing a job, or mastering a skill. The effort you put in made you more invested. The same principle applies to relationships. If someone doesn't have to put in any effort to be around you, they won't value your presence the same way as if they had to work for it. Now, this doesn't mean you should be manipulative or create artificial distance just for the sake of making someone chase you. It means recognizing your worth and allowing the right person to earn a place in your life. Because when you are too available, when you give your time, attention, and energy freely without requiring any effort in return, you're not giving them an opportunity to truly miss you. A relationship should never feel like a one-sided pursuit. If you find yourself always being the one to initiate conversations, always the one to adjust your schedule, always the one to make plans, take a step back. If someone genuinely values you, they will show it. And if they don't, you'll save yourself from investing in someone who doesn't truly appreciate your presence. Think about it this way. If your presence feels like a reward, something to be earned, something that brings joy and excitement, that's when someone will truly miss you. When they feel they have to step up, make an effort, and be intentional in spending time with you, that's when your presence holds weight. People don't miss what they never had to work for. They miss what they fear losing. Let's say you're always the one texting first. You're always the one checking in, making plans, and ensuring that connection stays alive. In doing so, you might think you're building the relationship, but in reality, you're taking all the effort off their shoulders. And the moment you stop, silence. Why? Because they never had to invest in the first place. If a person isn't used to making an effort, they won't start just because you want them to. They will only start when they feel that their place in your life isn't guaranteed. When they realize that to keep you, they have to value you. It's not about being unavailable. It's about being selective. There's a difference between withholding yourself as a game and having standards that demand a certain level of effort. It's the difference between saying, I won't respond just to make them wonder where I am, versus I have a life I'm passionate about, and I won't drop everything just because someone suddenly decides they want my attention. And here's the beautiful part. When you start carrying yourself like this, when you start treating yourself like someone who is worth the effort, the right person will rise to meet you. They will text first. They will make the plans. They will start thinking about ways to keep you in their life because they realize that your time, your energy, and your presence are not unlimited resources they can take for granted. So many people make the mistake of thinking that if they pull back, they will lose the person. But here's the truth. You can't lose someone who truly values you. What you can do is create space for the right person to show up in the way they are supposed to. If someone disappears when you stop chasing, that's your answer. If someone steps up when they realize they need to put in effort, that's your answer too. When you make your presence a reward, something that enhances their life rather than something they assume will always be there no matter how little they contribute, that's when you become truly unforgettable. Because you're not just another person giving them attention, you're someone they respect, admire, and know they have to put in effort to keep. So don't be afraid to pull back when necessary. Don't be afraid to let someone wonder about you, to give them a moment to miss you, to create space for desire to grow. Because when you do, you'll see who truly values you and who was only there because it was convenient. If you want to make him miss you, you need to embody a sense of fulfillment that comes from within. Here's the truth. When you're truly radiant and busy with your own life, you create an energy that's not just attractive, it's magnetic. This is where many women get it wrong. They put all their focus on him, hoping that their constant attention and availability will make him more interested. But here's the thing. When you're too available, when your world revolves around him, it becomes predictable. And predictable is the opposite of exciting. Now, I'm not saying you should play games or deliberately distance yourself for the sake of being mysterious. That's not the point at all. What I'm talking about is you leading a life that excites you, one that you would continue to pursue whether or not he's there. Because when your life is rich with your own passions, goals, friendships, and personal growth, you become someone who's not just desirable, you're indispensable. You've tapped into a way of being that doesn't rely on him to feel whole. When you're busy, you're not just filling time, you're living a full, vibrant life. And that's what creates desire. When a man sees that you are engaged in your own world, with your own projects, with your own people, he can't help but want to be a part of that world. The reason is simple. People fear missing out. If you're too available, he knows he can reach out at any moment. And you'll be there, always ready, always waiting. But when you're busy, doing your thing, being successful in your own right, he starts to feel the absence of that. He starts to miss it. And it's in that space, the space of absence, that attraction begins to grow. The key here is to fill your life with things that make you happy and fulfilled, not just activities that are meant to impress or occupy time. I want you to be in touch with your passions, things that make you feel alive. Maybe it's the work you're doing, your fitness routine, your creative hobbies, or your social circle. Maybe it's travel or learning something new. Whatever it is, find it and pour your energy into it. This is where your confidence grows, and this is where your worth becomes undeniable. You're not depending on him to validate your existence. You're fulfilling yourself, living for yourself, and that is something that no man can resist. And here's another layer to this. When you're living your own life and he's not the center of it, you naturally become a bit of a mystery. The more time you spend doing your own thing, the less he knows about what you're up to, and the more he's left to wonder. That curiosity, that desire to be a part of your world grows. Men don't like to feel like they're missing out on something. So when you allow yourself to be busy with your own life, you're creating a space where he starts to miss the parts of you that he's not seeing every day. It's important to understand that it's not about playing hard to get or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about cultivating a life that's so fulfilling and rich that without even trying, you become an irresistible force. When you're genuinely busy, when you're passionate about what you're doing, and when you're surrounded by people who care about you, you don't need to chase anyone's attention. You don't need to constantly remind him that you're there. Your life speaks for itself. And that's what draws him in. When a man sees you living your life in such a full and rich way, he wants to be a part of that energy. And the truth is, he'll miss you because he'll realize that the moments he spends with you are just one piece of the exciting, vibrant puzzle that is your life. He'll miss the dynamic, radiant person you are when you're engaged in your passions. And he'll realize that the time he spends with you is something that he needs to earn, not something he can take for granted. It's not about being so busy that you neglect him, but it's about maintaining a balance where your life is the priority. You're never so consumed by a relationship that you forget to live the life that makes you feel powerful and confident. Instead, you want him to see that he's stepping into your life, not the other way around. This dynamic shift is subtle, but it's extremely powerful when he's the one chasing to get into your world rather than you always being available to him. That's when desire intensifies. And let's not forget this key piece. When you're busy and radiant, your emotional state is more stable. You're not dependent on him for happiness or validation. This makes your interactions with him more positive. You're not seeking reassurance or attention from him because you're content and fulfilled. This gives the relationship room to grow without the pressure of constant neediness. You're showing up in the relationship as someone who is strong, self-sufficient and vibrant, which is incredibly attractive to him. In essence, when you live a life that's full of purpose and passion, you're giving him a reason to miss you. And not just miss you, he'll miss the energy, the vitality, and the excitement that you bring into the room. He'll miss the way you light up the space when you're living your truth. But the key is, you don't need him to validate that. You've already found your own joy, your own rhythm. And because of that, he can't help but want to be a part of it. So, here's what I want you to take away from this. Don't make your entire world about him. Let your world be about you. Create a life that excites you, challenges you, and fulfills you in every way. When you do that, not only will you attract the right man, but you'll also make him realize that missing you is far more painful than doing nothing at all. He'll want to be a part of your incredible, busy, and radiant life, because that's the kind of woman he'll want by his side.